picked up something pretty cool the other day, completely by accident. I was just trying to pick up a run stand, and somehow I stumbled across a 302 Ford air compressor, and it's not what you think. It is the strangest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if it's a marvel or a mystery or some meth head's wet dream, but very strange. Let's check this thing out. Now in the winter, I do a lot of R&D on a product called Carb Cheater that I developed, and anyway, I got a really cool update for that here at the end of the video. But anyway, I live in Iowa, and in the winter, it's snowy and cold, and it's irritating to try and have a running engine with a vehicle, so I was looking for a run stand to put just an engine that I already had on it. Anyway, long story long, I stumbled across this thing in my search for a run stand, a whole run stand and engine, and consequently, it's also an air compressor. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen one before in my entire life. And I mean, this is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I don't even know, it's a, actually a manufactured item, and look at the hours. I mean, the thing is like a super fresh engine. Now from this side, it looks like a normal Ford 302 V8, but it starts to get weird when you go around to the other side here and you think, oh, it's just a V8 powered air compressor, PTO or something. No, half of the engine itself is an air compressor. Look at these spark plug wires. They just go to this grounding lug. This is somehow a manufactured item. Strangest thing I've ever seen. Get up here and get a better look at this thing. Who knows if it runs? I don't think it's seized up, so eventually here I'm gonna have to give it a shot, but I don't even exactly know what I'm dealing with. It's very strange. It has a 2-barrel Autolite carburetor here, a normal intake, but you see it's completely plated off. The intake runner just hits a solid wall, and I guess it wouldn't draw any fuel out because it's not getting any vacuum signal, but a dual plane splits the runners where some go this way, from this side, it crosses over. So it's very strange. Like I said, it's just the weirdest deal that someone would ever manufacture, but I guess in theory, it's got some reed valves that look like they're controlled by some sort of manifold vacuum thing going on here that also has something to do with the governor. You can see here with the governor going to the throttle linkage. Just wild. So I'm sure it's controlled to some capacity where it builds, in theory, builds pressure and then it would shut things off. But these are kind of the reed valves over the cylinders here. And then this is what I believe is the air intake. And then it goes up, goes through these nifty cooling tubes, because when you compress air, it gets really hot. And then it goes into this tank, I'm just not sure what this was ever used for or what it was from. Looks like it does have some oil in it here, and I did find the very corroded cables, so we'll try and throw a battery in it and just see if it'll crank over. And I've just gotten weird in my old age. I get excited by the strangest things that I've never seen before. I've done a lot of this vintage stuff, and it's rare to come across something that, not only I've never seen it, but I can't find any info on it on the internet whatsoever. Was it used in oil fields? I don't know. Anyway, let's grab this battery and see if it'll at least spin over. If it does, I think I got myself a pretty good buy, frankly. Contrary to popular belief here, this is one of Ford's best engines they ever made, the FE series. Most misunderstood, underappreciated engines, but this thing has 190,000 original miles, and it still runs. So that's a testament to the Ford FE. All right, we got the battery on there, kind of, sort of, and there's no fuel in the thing or whatever, but we'll just see what happens. I assume that's the ignition switch. Just gonna open up the valve because we don't want to build any pressure with cranking. So on, and then I guess we're gonna hit it. Thing literally just popped off. I don't know what it's doing, but it sounds very strange. I don't know if there's old varnished fuel sitting in the carburetor. From that one little pop, it reeks like lacquered gas. And you get a little apprehensive about that because that can caramelize up on intake valves and ruin an engine. And with 300 hours, I mean, this is technically a really fresh engine that could have all the air compressor stuff removed and just be a Ford 302. It's probably a pretty good short block here still. And frankly, I have a 60s Mustang that I need an engine for, so this might end up being the one. Although, I'm gonna feel pretty bad about taking this apart, if I can get it to work. Man, it sounds like it even has ignition. Oil pressure didn't move, that's always good. All right, we're not gonna beat on it yet. Obviously I wanna go through very carefully and make sure I'm not gonna destroy the thing, but basically I wanted to make this video because I can't find any info on it. If you guys know anything about this, an oil field rig, what this was used on, maybe it's just a backup air compressor for a plant, I don't know. It's really neat. Obviously it was almost never used, in my opinion. We'll take a look at this 65, 66 Mustang that I need an engine for, but I might have lucked out with a short block and a run stand, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know if I can take that thing apart, if I can get it to run, but we'll find out here shortly. Oh boy. Here's the 60s Mustang here. It has a 289 in it, which is a completely original engine and super wore out, as to be expected. Sometime in the 80s, someone kind of resprayed this car and seemed to hot rod it. So it was originally a 3-speed car, but it does have a 4-speed top loader. You know, you got some 90s or 80s radio kit going on there with some speakers. It's just a super vintage car, but it's been off the road, you know, for 30, 40 years at this point. Probably the radio is a good indicator of how long exactly, but pretty slick. Well, not really that slick, but door shut's nice though, so that's got to be worth something. But anyway, as you can see, this 302 air compressor could go a long way for a run stand and an engine, but my big thing is it's just so neat, I have a hard time taking it apart itself. As far as turning that thing into an engine run stand, you see here I've had this old trailer on my property, you know, probably since 3 Vietnams ago. Just easily rip that engine off and scrap it, and then use this bad boy as basically a mobile run stand. Could be pretty nifty. So for once, my friends, I'm very indecisive. I would appreciate if you pushed me one way or another. I would, you know, obviously this bottom end of this 302, you know, I can probably outfit the thing like a normal 302 and have a running Mustang, you know. At the same time, I've never seen one of these before, and it'd be a real shame to take it apart. I don't know, let me know what you guys would do. I'm afraid to try and run it and destroy the engine because there's so much I don't know about what's going on here, and I can't find any info on it. So if you guys can direct me to some info about this thing, I'd be forever indebted. In other news, it's Saturday today, and I'm thinking maybe about trying to make Power Tour work at least go in a couple days. So I got a bunch of Carb Cheater boxes here I need to drop off at the post office, and boy, we're just trying to make it work on a short budget. Oh, also here's our got a pretty good Carb Cheater update recently for all you iPhone people that have been mad at me for years. Well, here you go. I did this just for you. Now, not only iPhone people, but also me, myself, I just really don't like using a phone for Carb Cheater. I can't give you a good reason. I just generally don't like apps. So I made this display, and I've been working to making it replace the app in a lot of ways. So obviously you get some neater gauges with the thing. You can also change the gauge style. Got a bunch of different gauges you can go through here. But here is the newest update, and any Carb Cheater display that comes out from this point forward will have this. Check this out. You can now do all of your Carb Cheater settings from your display. Folks have asked me to do this for a long time. 8,000 lines of code later, we have it running, and you'll have to forgive my display here. This is an R&D unit, So I usually just keep the junk stuff for myself. But anyway, there's the old original screen that we have on there too. But this is my favorite screen. Anyway, long story long, the display is now fully capable, so that's a huge Carb Cheater milestone. So although that was a ton of work, I appreciate you guys pushing me to do that. I think Carb Cheater is better for it. So with that, my friends, I need to get these off to the post office here before it's, you know, I think the post office closes at 10 here on Saturday, so I got to get going. But I will catch you guys for the next one, and if you're on power tour, I will see you for at least the first couple days, and then I got to go back to work because I don't have enough vacation. Such is life. So I'll see you guys around.